finishing the night here. I think in the last video I said the Pharisees were unbelieving. Well, they didn't believe anything Messiah did in the Father's name. And they were angry at the man who got healed from being born blind and said, "You're born in sins and you're going to teach us." I was just continuing to read a little bit. What is that? John 9, 8, 9, 10. And there's something one of them say that's kind of funny because it's said out of spite and anger without understanding. And he said, "We're going to go and wake him up." And then they didn't believe in him. Let's see. Well, I don't know. Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world. But if one walks in the night, he stumbles because the light is not in him. Our friend Lazarus sleeps. I go that I may wake him up. His disciples said, "Master, if he sleeps, he will get well." However, Messiah spoke of his death, but they thought that he was speaking about taking a rest and sleep. Then he said to them plainly, "Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him." Thomas, who is called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, "Let us..." Yeah, here it is. Then Thomas, who is called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, well, because a little bit above here, they said, "You want to go to Judea again? They want to stone you." And then he answers, that's where I read, "Are there not 12 hours in a day?" Well, yeah, one day is only as long as the light is out. So 12 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is, 12 hours would be like, somewhere in the middle, I suppose. Winter and summer, a little longer on the light. I'm not exactly sure, but one day is only during the day, and then one night, and that's why we read day and night so often in Scripture. 3 days, 3 nights, or 40 days, 40 nights, because 40 days is not 24-hour days. But then Thomas, because they were worried, they wanted to stone him, who is called the twin. The religious leaders wanted to stone him and seize him many times. Thomas, who is called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, "Let us go also, that we may die with him." This thing is said out of spite. And it's funny because it's out of not understanding, and it's like a lie because of it. And yet there's some truth in there. Let us go that we may die with him. He didn't say that out of understanding, but he accidentally spoke truth without even realizing it. Yet follow Messiah to your death. That is the calling. Take up your stake, follow him, die. Because anyone that picks up the stake is going to their death. There is no other direction. Because Messiah picked up the stake and went to his death. I know he says this out of like confusion, anger, spite. Yeah, let's go also. Yeah, let's go with him so that we could die with him. It's kind of hilarious. It's just speaking about the carnal mind, if someone can perceive that. Messiah says, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." Yahushua said to her, "I am the resurrection and life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Master, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of Elohim, who has come into the world." A little further, the shortest verse, I think, like people say out there. Messiah wept. And then the Jews said, "See how he loved him." Could not this man who opened the eyes of the blind also kept this man from dying? Then Messiah, again groaning in himself, came to the tomb. It was a cave, a stone lay against it. He said, "Take away the stone." The sister of him who was dead said to him, "Master, by this time there is a stench, for he has been dead 4 days. Did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of Elohim?" He lifted up his eyes, said, "Father, I thank you have heard me. I know you always hear me, but because of the people who are standing by, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me." Yeah, he's saying this out loud for their sake, because he hears the Father. He doesn't need to say that out loud for any other intention. He says, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I know that you always hear me, but because of the people who are standing by, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me." Now when he had said these things, he cried with loud voice, "Lazarus, come forth." This is like crying out with a loud voice. I wonder what some of the conversations what happened between the Pharisees and, Messiah. "You devils, you snakes, you hypocrites, hirelings, don't care for the sheep. He who died came out bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was wrapped with cloth. Loose him and let him go." Some of them went away to the Pharisees and told them the things he did. Then chief priests and Pharisees gathered a council and said, "What shall we do? For this man works many signs. If we let him alone like this, everyone will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and nation." This is how wicked the heart is. Messiah is of the Father doing good works, and the religious people, the religious leaders of Christianity are saying, if we let him alone like this, everyone will believe in him. It's a problem. And the Romans will come and take away both our place and nation. I wonder why they were doing everything. For what intention? For self, coming in their own name. That's it. Zero anything else. Can you believe it? That's how crooked and deceitful the heart is. That it's a problem that everyone will believe in him. We got to do something about it. We got to kill him. He would not die for the high priest prophesied that he would die for the nation, and not for that nation only, but also that he would gather together in one the children of Elohim who were scattered abroad. Once again, they plotted to put him to death. Therefore, he no longer walked openly among the Jews, but went there into the country near the wilderness to a city called Ephraim, and there remained with his disciples. What did it say earlier? Most assuredly, one chapter back, I say to you, he who does not enter the sheepfold by the door, but climbs up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. Anyone who doesn't go in through the door, but some other ways, this is also a thief and a robber. But he who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the doorkeeper opens, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And when he brings out his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, and they know his voice. Yet they will by no means follow a stranger, but will flee from him, for they do not know the voice of strangers. Messiah used this illustration, but they did not understand the things which he spoke to them. Then he said again, most assuredly I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who ever came before me are thieves and robbers. All who ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. The thief does not come except to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Anyone who doesn't go through that door is also a thief and a robber. And what does the thief do? The thief does not come except to steal, to kill, and destroy. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives life for the sheep, gives his life. But a hireling, he who is not the shepherd, one who does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees. And the wolf catches the sheep and scatters them. The hireling flees because he is a hireling and does not care about the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and am known by my own. As the Father knows me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock and one shepherd. Therefore my Father loves me, because I lay down my life that I may take it again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This command I have received from my Father. Therefore there was a division again among the Jews because of these sayings. And many of them said, he has a demon and is mad. Why do you listen to him? Others said, these are not the words of one who has a demon. Can a demon open up the eyes of the blind? So a wolf comes and only to kill, steal, and destroy. And when a wolf comes, it scatters. And this is, almost 2,000 years of wolves scattering the sheep. That's why we are in the reality we are in today, right now, because of wolves scattering the sheep, gathering disciples unto themselves with that intention only. And they don't care about the sheep. The hireling doesn't care about them, just like we read that Messiah said. Anyone who doesn't go through the door is also a thief and a robber, and a thief only comes to kill, to steal, and destroy, and scatter the sheep. And so then there's this great division, unimaginable division in this world amongst Christianity, let alone everything else. And the division is proof of lots of sin and lots of wolves scattering and gathering disciples for themselves for that intention. Messiah didn't do that. He didn't gather disciples for himself, for his own benefit. That intention was nowhere, zero. But a thief is only for himself, and he kills, steals, and destroys. That's the reality. It's the only thing a wolf can do. A wolf, by its nature, cannot do anything else, and a snake cannot do anything else except be a snake. And so a wolf sees actual sheep and it's hungry and it wants to attack. And a hireling doesn't care at all. So the only purpose of little shepherds is being that. Little shepherds. Compel them to come in, he says. Not doing anything for self. Leading to the Creator and the true shepherd, Messiah. That's it. Messiah is their leader for each individual in the picture, in the parable, for each sheep. And in this world, sheep is said kind of like a bad thing, just stupid, dumb sheep. The sheeple believing everything the government says. I wonder how many of them talk about themselves. That's the scary part. How many of them are sheep of Messiah? Those who follow Messiah are following the one who's not blind and stupid. But, when we hear about being a sheep in this world, it's always with the understanding of being stupid and blind. Everyone is like a lost sheep. Sheep need some kind of shepherd. Yes, that's even true, literally. The sheep need a shepherd to lead them into the door, into the gate, or else they just quickly get lost. Being lost in the parable is to be spiritually lost. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you come from. You don't know where you're going. Messiah says we know where we come from and where we're going. Concerning that, who he is, where he's from, where he's going. He knows what he's doing because the Father is leading him, in him. And then so Messiah leads his people. They know where they come from and where they're going. But concerning the process of following him, it's like the wind. It comes and goes. You don't know where it comes from nor where it's going to go. Two different things there. But on the surface, it looks like a contradiction, doesn't it? That Messiah's people know where they come from and where they go, but the process of it, not knowing where the Messiah will take them, not knowing the next thing because they're not God and they're learning constantly concerning the process of following him. It's like the wind, the spirit. Walking in the spirit is like the wind, which is like the same Hebrew word, wind and spirit. You don't know where the wind comes from or where it goes. It goes this way, and then next thing you know, it's going that way, and you just follow. That's it. But when someone's following, they know where they're coming from and where they're going spiritually. Concerning the process, not knowing exactly what direction or when or how, this way or that way. Two different things there. But it's something like the literal wind. It's a good picture. The wind blows this way, okay, go this way. And now it blows this way, you go this way. The person knows where he's going because he's following the wind. This is just the picture where the spirit is leading. He knows where he comes from, where he's going, but he does concerning the process. It could change quickly, this way or that way, You don't know. Carnal man knows everything. In a delusion, he doesn't actually know. In his mind, he knows. So he doesn't follow the spirit. He's given a delusion. Pharisees hate Messiah. Religious people hate Messiah, the true one. And that means they also hate the creator of the heavens and earth. And we read there, the Pharisees say, give God the glory, and then they're murdering Messiah right before his eye, right in his face. They're murdering him with their heart. They want to kill him. They want to seize him. But a little bit of restraint. And then they were allowed to do what they wanted because it was the proper time, like we actually read, because of the timing, the proper time. The time was right now that they would kill him. And they didn't even know that, killing Messiah would bring out something much greater through death. The spirit would be poured out. And if the devils knew what this would do, they wouldn't have killed. How do we read it? I think the apostle says the master of glory. They wouldn't have done that because they don't want to do anything that leads to good. They only want to kill, steal, and destroy. And they were thinking and hoping that, look, we killed him. It's over now. We can do the things we want. It's over. Thank goodness he's dead. The very son of the creator. And then there would be sons afterwards. He wouldn't be the only one, but he would be at the top, though. That much is true. Messiah is at the top, but there would be sons afterward, just like him, in that they're sons of the creator, the Father, receiving the same spirit. And they thought that would solve their problem because we read there, look, this is a problem. Everyone's going to believe in him if we allow him to go. And the Romans, we're going to lose our place and our nation. It's all about being a God and ruling in this world. Never be tricked by anyone. The first thing that someone should discern is what on earth are they doing and why are they doing it in this world? What is their intention and driving force inside the heart for what are they doing? Because there's only two people. Forget unbelievers, they're unbelievers. It's concerning only those that claim to believe. And even the unbelievers, there's still only two people. But concerning the religion, Christianity, there's those that come in the Father's name and want to do his will, meaning it has nothing to do with their own. It has nothing to do with themselves. And then there's those seeking their own glory, doing what the Pharisees want to do, be a mighty man, a mighty king and a god in this world, ruling over people, controlling them, becoming a great somebody in this world, and enjoying the carnal luxury of it. like the Pharisees were, and exchanging a lot of merchandise and product and books and things. And they exchange the souls of men, the lives of people, just like merchandise in Revelation, no different. That's how much they care about people. They only care about people in that they can use them for money to gain for self, which is no care at all, for real, in the heart. No care at all for people. Only using them like a whore, like a harlot gets used by a pervert. That's it. It's a spiritual rape. That's spiritual rape. You know, when someone says, I'm a good person because I don't rape people, are they sure they're not raping people spiritually, which is breaking his law, which is doing wickedness? Are they absolutely sure they're not robbing, stealing, killing, destroying, and raping people spiritually by controlling them, by lying to them, and teaching them abominations so they can use them like a product to make them great? That's not in the mind of a hireling, is it? He's like desperate to use people for his own gain. I just had a video, I don't know, it was a couple days ago. I got an email by YouTube. You know, YouTube, the people that own and control it, you know, it's all abomination, but at least, you know, at least a little bit of good could be, we could use it for a little bit of good, spreading the Father's truth. And that's it, for no other intention. But YouTube's not being used like that. It's being used for self-gain by virtually just about everyone, most. And I got an email on the video that's called, that I think it was a few days ago, the true Messiah was attacked by religious wolves. Attacked by religious wolves. And they gave me an email concerning that video saying it's been age restricted, it's dangerous, and it's not appropriate for younger people. I guess probably less than 18, I think, is their policy when they say that. I'm guessing under 18 or something, or maybe less. They said that video on the true Messiah attacked by religious wolves, it got age restricted, and they deemed it inappropriate for younger audiences. And one of the reasons in there that I'm telling the truth, they said sexually inappropriate. Sexually inappropriate is the reason, one of the reasons on why it got age restricted. If you want to fight this and battle this, you know, no, I don't. You know, let it be. That's how much they hate. I can't believe, you know, whatever's on here is even allowed as long as it has been on. It's a shock. It's like a miracle. It is a miracle. But something in there, something in that video, I might have to see what it is, why they said sexually. I might have used the words, I'm thinking maybe I used the word spiritual sex. That's what the religious people do, which is the same thing right now. They might age restrict this one too. You know, hello, devils, if you're listening, hello. You know, I don't care what you do. Go do what you do, you hirelings, you devils, you snakes, you hypocrites, you evil, wicked people. The only thing they do is care about themselves. And they love lying to people for their own gain, because the only way to gain off of people is by lying. Anyone who tells the truth doesn't use people for gain. It's not even possible. So they're lying. But something about it triggered, you know, saying it's munchies, what do they want? No, I'm done for the day. Unbelievable. They want me to go in Corvallis, like drive all the way there and work till 2 a.m. No, I'm done. I'm tired. I can't do that. I don't want to do that right now. I gave the beast enough work for one day. But spiritually, what was it? Yeah, it's sexually inappropriate. age restricted, unbelievable. They make it sound like it's evil, like it's perverted or doing something. So I don't know. I'm not sure it would do it clicking on this from this own channel's perspective, but maybe someone else's. Like if you click on it, it might pop up and say like, are you sure you're 18? And like you double confirm because it's like dangerous or sexual or perverted content, like unbelievable. So sick. I think that's what might happen when they do that. It's the devil's world. It's the devil's kingdoms. It's the devil's divisions. If it's all the God of this world, the God of this world runs YouTube, but run by people that are utterly blind and don't know the Father at all. The only thing they got on their mind every second that ticks is themselves and how to gain more and use people for gain. That's it. It's purely animal, beastly, and selfish. That's it. It's like a zombie. It just takes people's lives. It's saving its soul. Like we read, it's the last thing it would do is lay its life down, see? So, saving its soul, it's only going to try to stay alive and beastly and use people and kill and destroy instead of lay down the life like Messiah did. And there's no greater love than someone that lays down their life. And he did it for evil people, everyone evil. No one was good. He laid his life down for everyone that murdered him and hated him for all time, before and in the future. Yeah, see, that's a little bit different than just laying your life down. Like maybe someone would do that for like, I don't know, a friend or whatever, but he laid his life down for those that hate him, which is everyone before we know him. So even the believers. That's why we read he died at the proper time, because when they got called, it was just the right time for them individually, wherever his people are out there. I think that's it. I'm going to drive home. I work until 2 a.m. It's crazy. And I work tomorrow. I think I put in for all day. Let's see. Yeah, I think I did like 12 hours. I don't know. I don't do that as often anymore, but here and there I'll do a day like that. I don't know what I'll do next. I don't know what's going to happen. Houses are going up in Oregon, and it's a seller's market now, and it's shooting up. I just got an email, but whatever. I just got an email that shows some graphs and stuff. I wonder if that's what it's going to come down to. It's just selling the house and like living in the car until the remainder of whatever, my life or this age, whichever comes first. Not sure. Don't know. Anybody in Messiah can't know what the future holds for them. Well, they can only know whatever they're given. It's not because of what they declare and plan. But for the unbelievers, though, it doesn't matter. It's nothing. They say this is what we'll do, and it has no intention or desire or want or knowing the Father to do his will. But for his people, they can't do that. They wait for whatever he says, whatever he moves them next to. So therefore, they don't know, living in reality now. Because the other way, the wide gate, doing things our own way, go out and eat pig food, is in a delusion. It's not a reality. It's a delusion. It's punishment. It's blind. It's judgment. So the only reality is not knowing, just following him wherever he goes for each person. They don't know. And there's people out there that they're looking for someone. They're looking for groups and stuff. They want to find like a home. I feel sorry for them because I don't know. There's a lot, I think, that, and I feel extra pity for some of the women out there because I think they get used more often and abused spiritually than guys do by guys. But there's so many groups and peoples where and it seems like there always is a lion king once a group is formed. It's like it's just not possible to have like a group of people that are like, I don't know that it exists more than like, very few. I won't say it doesn't exist for like a few, but I don't know that there's a 50 or 100 or anything like that. I mean, there's nothing more viciously attacked than that. I don't think. I really do believe there's nothing more viciously attacked than a few believers that are like together, even like literally physically. It's like a real problem with the enemy. So the hireling, like we read John 9, 10, 8, whatever it was I read, it's just a wolf and it doesn't care about the sheep. Messiah said, so it doesn't care. Anyone that's not going through the door, it doesn't care at all. And wolves just attack and it scatters. You could get the picture in the parable, and wolves look where this world is, and it's always been scattered and divided. Evidence of these spiritual words Messiah speaking that are always true right to the end. Worse at the end than it ever was. That's been put in my mind and heart, like utterly, that it's just going to be the worst that it ever was at the end. It's worse now than it was 100 years ago concerning divisions and everything. There's just more of them, more confusion, more tricks, more devices, more groups, more this, more that. Someone trying to find like a home, and what do you do? What do you tell someone? You only do the best whatever you've been given, just like I'm not sure there is big groups anywhere. Of course, this would be attacked by anyone out there with groups and denominations, because it's just, you would see why, because they're in big groups and you're just speaking as if not even maybe existing at all big groups. It would offend them. But it's all Messiah ever did was offend the religious leaders because of truth. That's all that can ever happen. So someone that backs down because they're worried about offending or whatever, that's no good. That's pretty bad. Well, they're making sure that everything goes in their favor, If someone's doing that constantly, they're not of the truth. It's not. It's going to be attacked in this world viciously. Man, there's no fellowship with them because they already know everything. And we know we don't know that we didn't know. We know that for a fact, but they already know. So there's not much to speak. There's nothing really to say. Someone that doesn't know, they're not learning and growing. They just already know. And this is the judgment. You could also read there, Messiah said in John, he came, this is the judgment, that he came in this judgment, that those who see are made blind, and those that are blind, they may see. And he's talking to the Pharisees, and the Pharisees go, like I've heard people say, and it's like frustration, distress when someone's doing this because you want them to see, but they're only thinking out of pride, carnal still. Are we blind also? The Pharisees ask him, are we blind also? They like want him to say, yeah, blind, you blind. But they said that out of spite, like, like how dare you, just constantly defending itself. And he says, if you were blind, you would see, but since you say you see, your sin remains. That was the answer back for, are you blind? Are we blind also? Because they say they see, their sin remains, not healed, not forgiven, dying in their sins. It's a big deal. They weren't covered yet. Dying in the sins, no forgiveness yet, no covering means, it'll be quite the judgment to come. And no life now, not knowing him now at all. No life now. The Messiah came to give life and that they may have it abundantly. What life? Physical life? No, eternal life, age abiding life. The Spirit of the Father in us and Messiah in us, alive, and that they may have it abundantly. Life. Speaking of now, always now, everything now, all truth is for now. It always was. Every word is for now. And to come, but it's for now though. A wolf doesn't have life. If it's a wolf, it's a hireling, it's a wolf, it doesn't know him and doesn't have life. And anyone that's a murderer has no eternal life in them, which means they don't have the Father in them. So the Father is life. They don't have the Messiah, Spirit, set apart Spirit. A murderer in the heart that does that continually has no life. Can't be doing that forever. Yeah, it's stunning. But he's proving it though. Carnal man does not own up to any of its sin. It just keeps protecting. Something gets spotted, it never owns up to it. Protects, and defends the evil inside. So this world's full of fakery. These false prophets in this world are trying to go through some other gate, like Messiah said. This looks like some parable speaking about what they would always do. People going through another way, another gate that is not the Father's way, which is him in us telling us what to do, where to go, how to do things, teach us. And that's it. They go their own way, get lost. Everyone got lost, eat pig food. A few come back now. They find out it was garbage. The world pays no wages, no good wages. The world gives you pig food. That's what it is spiritually, man. It's like eating, unclean pig food, like an animal. It could be. And then he comes to his sense and says, man, I could have had this all along. This is garbage. But someone can't realize that until they believe, until it happens to them. They'll have to be stuck eating pig food, and But he's not talking about eating literal pig food. It's a parable. But it's true spiritually, though. That's what it looks like. Unclean, lying words and beliefs, and unclean works continually. Pig food. Lies is unspiritual food. There's different kinds of unclean spiritual food. There's pork, there's crabs, different kind of bottom feeders. There's different. They're all unclean, but there's different kinds of unclean. So there's many different lies and teachings that are a little different, but all unclean. And then there's clean food. There's different kinds of clean food, and they're all clean, but they're a little different. But they're one in that they're all clean. Messiah said that his disciples were clean and they didn't get it. He said, wash my head, wash my body too, out of anger like a child, in spite, not understanding, getting angry at what it doesn't know. He said, wash me everywhere else too. Come on. But it would come to them later, they would understand that, what he meant. That there is a clean, and the other thing, clean, is just like leading up to Messiah. It's not the real thing. Literal unclean isn't the real thing for like the physical flesh. And if someone has that in their heart that that's the real thing, they don't have the real thing. It's pretty obvious. You know, the only reason such and such thing is important is because of the meaning of what it really means. Spiritually unclean, eating unclean spiritual food. Well, there's a reality to spiritual food, food, manna from above, hidden manna. The Messiah will give hidden manna, hidden food. It's all hidden. A little here, a little there. And this keeps them alive in spirit, alive. You know, something the carnal can't comprehend yet because it takes to be alive to comprehend it. And so that's what they're guarding and watching for, because the devil, even people who don't believe, we're aware of what they're always going to try to do to those who have life, is steal, kill, and destroy that life. So yeah, these things start becoming pretty important. The world's going to try to make you murder, steal, kill, rob, destroy, spiritually rape people, lie. And people will pay for it if that's what they do. It's going to rob their life. That's what they're trying to do constantly. So that's what guarding the house means. It's not standing at your house door and waiting for soldiers, you know, the military with tanks to shoot them down and like, all right, I've been watching. But it's something like that. And the enemy, the foul spirit, sees the house is swept and nobody's home, like Messiah saying in the parable, speaking of this thing. And 7 more spirits, more foul than the first one, come, and the latter state of that man is worse than the first. No wonder we read that the latter end of a man is better than his beginning or his birth. The death is better. And it's interesting. It's better for the believer and unbeliever. The unbeliever because he's worse off than in the beginning, and better for the believer because it's better at the end and the race is finally finished. Somehow true for both, that the latter end of the man, well, not concerning not knowing him, but somewhere else scripture says that like his death is better than his birth. The end is better than, and I see the two different things. One that's better, you know, like I guess I already said it, because it should be better at the end. Like anybody, an example of the apostle should be better at the end because, you know, it was a massive tribulation. It's finally over, and more belief in life at the end than ever before. And for the unbeliever, it just waxes worse and worse. So it's finally he can get some rest also from all his unrest. It's better because his end is worse than the beginning. It's like better for both somehow. Although this world would say the former days were better than the latter. And it says not, I think I read that, not to say that. Why do they do that? Don't do that. Because it was better when they were kids, when they had a little life in them still, before they started dying more and more because of sin, you know. So then it gets worse. And everybody has that in common, don't they? That's what people say all the time. It was better. I remember when I was a kid in the good old days. Right, because there wasn't nearly as much heavy laden sin on someone. It's waxing worse and worse. It should be getting better and better for his people, but the tribulation increases. So the end is still somehow better than the beginning because of that tribulation. And better in a good way, knowing what's to come, but better for the cursed man because it's worse, and it's finally, get some rest from all that unrest, because no rest for the wicked, and for his own people, carnal. No partiality. I swear they shall not enter my rest. What is this rest? Something man creates, or did the Creator create? Well, I swear I shall find religion and a denomination and enter my own rest because I do this or I do that. No, this is not that rest. So when someone's in a spiritual unrest, they can't do the things required to come out of this world. They can't. The unrest makes them, they got to do all the sin. They can't be content because they're unrest. If they rest, they'll be tormented, because that's the good, true thing. And whatever is good and true that an unbeliever is not having yet, it will be, anything that's good and true is torment to them. So rest is torment. So like a slave driver for sin and not getting any good wages out of it. Not a good deal. Working for Egypt, not so good of a deal. I don't know how the Creator's going to do it, but I think, still have to come out of this world more. And I just wonder if there's enough time for any believer that all of them finally stop working for the beast, like completely. I just wonder if that's the case. Like it even manifest where they don't do that anymore. Just work for the Creator, that's it. For the kingdom, that's it. I don't know. I'm not sure on that. I can say it's been going in that direction, but I don't, what I don't know or can't perceive how it's going to be done. Can't see it yet. That's what belief is he'll just make things happen the right way at the right time that you couldn't believe or foresee. And you just wait. Yeah, that's called real faith. Not knowing is real faith. It seems contradicting to the carnal man. Faith is nothing about knowing. Real faith is not knowing, and you go forward anyways. Something they don't do. Pharisees didn't have real faith. They're worried everyone would believe in him, like we read plainly. Simple. What on earth, they were saying. If he keeps on going, if we don't stop this, everyone's going to believe in him, and the Romans will take our place and our nation. They just care about their own little kingdom and division. Some very small, some very large. It doesn't matter except the intention and what the heart is doing, how big or small. The number doesn't matter. If someone's got few people under them and they're gaining off of them, using them, raping them spiritually, or on a grander scale with the governments and some of the real big, powerful people in this world, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. The smaller guy just wasn't given as much to, as the bigger guy. That's all. He wants it just the same, just couldn't get up there, proving he's got no free will because he can't get there. Why do some people rise and why do some not rise like the same way and both try just the same as hard, And so this world's gotten extraordinarily mad because now it's like the competition is more severe than any other time to separate yourself and become special. Well, that's the wrong direction. You're supposed to be a nobody. You're supposed to be least in this world. It's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven is the least. Who's going to be the greatest? How will be okay, disciples, if you want to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, you'll have to be the least. How do you like that? Well, too bad. Deal with it. I'll make it happen. Who was Messiah in this world? Hated and spit on. He was the least because of the people's perception and belief on him, hating him. The great people in this world are those that are loved by more. They're greater people. They're mightier. in this world. That's how it works. With someone that has a bigger following like that in this world, whether it's like a president or whatever, they're greater because they have more people that like flock after them, love them, worship them. So they're greater. You got to be how to be the least. This world hates you. Proof for the person that knows the Father and Messiah that they're going in the right direction. All the proof in the world. And then, monstrous things come in anyways, monstrous accusations, where carnal man speaks of things he does not know and just cannot see. Starts railing accusations, where like each individual in Messiah knows what's going on in their life. They know, what this world thinks of them. They'll tempt you. They become one with them. Groups will seduce people and draw them in. That's what I say. I don't know how many people out there that are, they're sort of looking for something. It's like, I feel real bad because there's like probably without number. And there's just a bunch of lying seducers and lying men, seducing them into their group in a lie, which is like all unclean. And then they, become the same. They will if they stay there. That's the bad thing. They will. Can't be one with those that don't know him. Just cannot be so. You cannot be one with those that don't know the Father. It's not possible. And if someone does that, it's not possible, meaning they'll be corrupted for sure, no doubt. So that's why it's not possible in that kind of way. And so then that brings in more hatred when you obey. When you know strangers and you don't follow them, they're going to be offended. They're going to hate. But they've already proven who they are with their heart. They've already proven it. And then they say the things they say, and they'll say, it's always about self. Everyone wants to be worshipped and believed on. This can't be so for his people. So then they'll take great offense. I don't know. What's the common thing? What are you, too good for us? Too good for us devils? You don't understand, you unbelieving people. It has nothing to do with their accusation. Nothing. But they need to condemn you. They need to find some kind of sin on you. So that's what they'll, all day long. That will be in the heart. If they're too cowardly to say it, it's already in the heart. Just because someone doesn't say it doesn't mean they're not saying it. And the Father sees that they're saying it, and that's what their heart is doing, and that's evil. What do you want? What do you want us to do, carnal people? Disobey our Father, our Creator, not follow the Lamb, not be set apart. Well, you don't like that? Too bad. Nothing to do with them. And that's what a carnal person will do constantly, is make it personal about self and usually themselves involved, because that's how they can point the finger and throw down something that they don't like and hate. Throw down you. Is to say you're doing this because of them, when it's not there. It's such a perversion, man. It's so prideful. It's extraordinarily prideful. See, the intention is only, the accusation would be only whatever they do constantly, and then they put whatever they understand on you. So therefore, what's driving you to do whatever you're doing is to look better than them, because they do that all day long, but they will only put it on his people. That's all they can do. That's all someone should ever expect. If they're receiving the opposite, I'd be worried. That must not be of Messiah, because that's not what Messiah received. He only received hate and false accusations. What did they think they should expect? That is what someone should be receiving. And that's pretty much it. And it gets worse. That's the direction. That's it. If it's the opposite continually, then they're lying. They're doing some kind of wickedness. They're carnal, prideful, doing things for self, wanting to please others and boast in other people, obeying their commands and whatever they want, whatever they've got going on. Whether it's like a group, and there's these tricky groups out there. There's someone that I passed by through the online world, woman. I'm trying to find some place, some group, and this group sort of look carnally good because it's like they're growing their own things and it's like a little community and it sounds good and everything. And if you try to warn someone about something, it just makes you look evil every time because of how good it looks. It's like nothing more disturbing, frustrating. Because this group also teaches and believes, hell and being tortured forever. It's a big deal when one thing like that is spotted. It's a big deal. Now I'm wondering what else is going on in that group. How's the pride? How's the hypocrisy? What's the heart doing? What kind of sin is in there? Hasn't the Father shown them that that's abomination already? So they're going to seduce and get people to this nice family society of like people who grow their own stuff and whatever, they use some verses and it's like carnally matching with the verses. That much I can give and say that's like, kind of looking good. And then they teach some monstrous thing. It's a big deal because it's exposing. So it's like looking, searching, watching with the eyes everywhere. What is it doing? Why is it doing it? What kind of pride is required to believe in that doctrine? Don't they know? It's extraordinarily prideful to have that doctrine in the heart. And that's not the only thing that's inside. If one thing is that corrupt, that the whole thing is already corrupt. Can't they see that? That can't go on forever? It requires pride because you believe you're better than everyone else, which is to condemn everyone else that's not doing what you're doing exactly. That's what everyone else in the church world's doing. But this one makes it look more right than the church world because it does say some more right words or acknowledges the commandments or something more openly, more clearly, but just like carnally. Yeah, but how many of them are they breaking spiritually with the heart? All of them? Maybe. A false prophet won't say that they can't teach someone. They can't do that. It's the very thing they believe in their heart, that they can control and give and save and teach people. It's not possible. That's to replace the creator and then Messiah. And that's to say we're the shepherd and you follow us and we save you and that's it. That's what's inside the heart. They don't need the Messiah then because they did it. They saved them. And they're the way. Don't they know that there is no one that can go it alone by themselves like that? But that's what they believe in the heart. That's what's inside already. They prove it all day long. Now I know they're careful not to say the wrong words. I don't care about the words. That's what's in the heart already when I see some certain things. It's already in the heart. It's already doing it. It's not about to do it. It's always been doing it. And it found a group that just looks a little different doing the same thing in the heart. It believes it can be the shepherd and lead. But they'll claim because they have to if some pressure came. Yeah, we follow the good shepherd. And it's one division out of thousands and thousands. I mean, that's what's going on in this world then. Is the good shepherd causing that much division? I mean, is it that bad? There is no division that he causes. They're one fold and one body and one everything. Just because there's not many, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And this is not on earth, created by stupid man with foul intentions for self-gain. The division is proof that it's in sin and it doesn't have the good shepherd leading them. Because if all these divisions were following the good shepherd, they would be one and they wouldn't be divided. And they wouldn't be carnal. They would know something about his laws, his commandments for the heart, what they mean, because that's what he teaches his people directly. The only way to get taught is by the Creator through Messiah. That's it. The Father gives Messiah to do something for his disciples, and Messiah gives it to do to his disciples, and disciples gives it to do to others. This is the kingdom of heaven. There is a right way, but that right way will be condemned by all who are doing it the wrong, evil way. Yes, it will. It will be casted out, spotted just as all the others. And somehow it thinks what it does is good. How does it know? How does it instantly make this accusation? It must know something about doing it the wrong way. Yes, it does. It's doing it itself. Without the Father in them, that's their accusation. On the good, true way. And then there's the selfish, evil way with no spiritual understanding. That phrase is in there, spiritual understanding, and Jerusalem is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Not carnally. That doesn't matter, flesh, because Messiah says the flesh profits nothing. And these groups don't care about that, do they? They never bring out these things. How come they just skip them? But they lure people in through this lying wonders and spiritual power of the devil through their words. It's like a spell, and it draws them in and it sucks them in, and it's like blinding them, and they are not able to think of all these other things either, just like nobody could before they believed. And that's how they work. They're magicians. They're like the Egyptian magicians. They're tricksters, And a magician, what is the magician? It looks like it's doing something that's good and real. Excuse me, but it's a trick. It's a lying wonder and a trick. It's not real. It's not from the Father. They have some kind of power through the enemy. This power is like, it needs to be perceived. It's real. Marveling and wondering after the beast, that's a real power. Like seduces people. It's something like like physically seducing. There's sort of that lust and like physical looking more like, even though it's not physical, but you get the picture there of physical, but this is like the spiritual understanding of that witchcraft, the higher thing, the trickier thing, the thing that needs to be seen, given. It's the strangest thing when a religious leader is like just out about his business, and then he's spotted for what he is, and he knows it somewhere inside. Instantly have to play defense and cover itself. If someone was of the truth, they have nothing to hide and cover like that. Messiah, that's why he says, I speak out in the open, didn't hide like you people hide. You guys do your work in the night so that no one sees what you're really doing. The Messiah does his work in the day where no man works at night. Well, aren't there 12 hours in a day? And the point of that isn't that there's always exactly 12 hours. The point is that during the daylight, it's a day. That's it. They do their works at night. And those that do their works in the night stumble. But those that work in the day could see what they're doing. And his people are the children of the light and not the night. But even scary, it manifests itself like so often too. There's a lot of people that like it manifests the darkness. Sabbath night, day starts at night, everything is dark at night, and that's what's light and good for them. It's freakish. But that isn't the understanding. It's spiritual and the heart is backwards, but it doesn't, it just manifests so often, but it doesn't mean it's not dark still, because it doesn't do certain things like believe literal night, whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean anything by itself. It just, when you do see it, it's pretty obvious then. It's just like painfully obvious. They're resting from good works. It's backwards. The carnal man's resting from all good works, and he's only doing carnal man works, flesh, works of the night. Carnal man's only night, darkness, works of the night. He rests from good works, and we're supposed to rest at night. Hello, does someone go to sleep when the sun rises or at night? I mean, even the physical picture is created with this understanding. Someone rests from your works at night, and then during the day, the Messiah does the good works of the Father. That's it. No works at night of self. Resting from your works constantly, continually. Like the Creator rested ever since day 7. He's been resting from his works. That his people that enter his rest supposed to rest from their spiritual, dark, carnal, flesh works constantly. That's the teaching. That's the understanding. Rest. And then the rest. There's a real rest too. Not just the teaching, but an actual, rest where you're at peace with the real peace from above. That's it. Not peace from this world, because the peace from the world's a nightmare. It's hell. That's the peace of this world. It's like machine guns firing at all every second. If someone says peace of the night of this world, it's like all I see is loud motorcycles and machine guns firing. It's like the devil's peace with, while he's laughing and like some kind of anger with horns coming out of it. I mean, it's noisy. It's bad. Forget that peace. That's trash. That's no. The world's peace is tossed in the waves in the oceans of unrest continually. So yeah, there's an understanding of this rest, and then there's an actual reality of this rest. And only the Father can give it, nobody else. Not some stupid false prophet, not me, not anyone else. They can't just have rest. I'm God. And now you are into my rest. You're saved. You're into my synagogue made with hands, of which I read. The Creator doesn't dwell in temples made with hands. And you've entered my rest. I'm God. No, only the Creator through Messiah, and Messiah could someone get rest from him. And since all things are one, if someone actually has his rest, they also have his life. They also have eternal life. They also are learning and growing. They also are being set apart from this world, and they're also everything else. They're also everything else that the Father's doing in them. And those that are not in his rest don't have eternal life, don't know the Father, and they're doing wickedness continually and everything else that's dark in their heart. It's scary what this world is doing. I got told in Panda when I went inside to get an order for my delivery job, whatever. It was a little below my nose because Kate Brown or whatever made the mandate again, we're like going backwards with the mask. And the woman says, it needs to be above your nose, so I stretch it slowly and slap it back over my nose, look at her. It's only said out of just control, man. They just do anything this devil world says to do. And it's like they're in prison and you want to get them out so badly, and you can't just wave a wand and say, I'm God, be released from prison, because we're not the creator like that. It's nasty. What's nasty is when there's like talk show hosts and stuff that act like they're against like evil and evil governments. No, they're not. They're benefiting from it the same. And rock stars that, sort of have those what people would call like conspiracy, where it sounds like they're exposing some certain things. No, they're not. They're lying tricksters and magicians and deceivers, catching people that are going this way, catch them too. And then there's people going that way, and they got people to catch them. And then there's people going this way in religion, and they got something to catch them. And then there's Buddhists, and then there's this, and then there's that. And then there's the divided denominations of Christianity, each one out there to catch. Nobody's seeking the Father's will. Nobody wants to do the Father's will. No one wants to, trying to find their own thing. And whatever someone wants to find, they will. It's made for them. Here it is. Here's your pig food, That's not good. They'll find whatever they want. It exists. That's what doing his will is stop finding what we want and just sit and wait and, start believing and coming into reality that we're not the creator, repent for being a God in our own mind and doing evil continually. And now do his will. That's it. What is it? Moved to do whatever he says to do and stop trying to find something. Only seeking whatever is true from above to do his will. That's it. Then he gives us something to chew on, and you learn something, and you keep going. Moves you here, moves you there, and you keep going. Moves Abraham here, moves him there, you keep going. He's not trying to find his own way. Abraham just listening to his voice. That's it. The world doesn't believe it exists, that his voice exists. Why would it? It's doing its own way. How could that's a contradiction, if it's doing its own way, wanting its own things, it must also condemn the creator, that he exists and that we're supposed to listen. It has to condemn that. To do one thing is to, if you love money, you hate the creator. That's what Messiah is saying. If one, then the other must be like this, period. No exceptions. You'll either love the one and despise the other, or hate the one and be fond of the other. Two different things, two exact, little slightly different words, same thing. Love, hate, despise, fond. Whoever loves money despises the Father, and whoever is fond of money hates the Father, period. And whoever hates money with the heart must be fond of the Father and must love the Father. Whoever is not fond of money hates. And I don't mean that you can't ever use it or something, but it can't be a love in the heart. It's not, it's what this world's doing. It's trying to gain more for some reason, some damn reason. Filling up its barn so it could lose more at the end. Seems like a stupid plan. If it only knew the true way. Be content right now, at peace, and then have a lot to gain in the future, a lot of rewards that won't perish, or lose everything, have not the Father at all, zero life, zero rest, gain a lot now and lose it all anyways, lose everything and have nothing. have nothing your whole life and then lose it all at the end as if it never existed. Yeah, but who thinks like that with the spiritual mind? There needs to be a spiritual mind to start with. There's no spiritual mind or spiritual eyes. It just keeps eating more of this world and gets fatter and fatter, and it builds more barns. Okay, when you die, where's it all gonna go, huh? Smart man, huh, God? Where's it gonna go? Tonight I required your life, God. Where's it gonna go? Do you know? Don't you know everything? God. You know, it's sad, it's prideful. If that's true, what else must be true? If someone doesn't know what happens afterwards to their things after they pass away, what else must be true? It must be true they're dead, you know. Surely if they were alive, they would know what happens with their things afterwards, right? It's one of these things again, where if one is true, then the other must be this, period. And if not true, then this. So then, of course, it's true. And it's not the only place in scripture we read that. It's not the only teaching. It's scattered everywhere. So then someone doesn't know what happens afterwards, meaning they're dead. They don't even get to find out. They just set themselves up on sand for a bigger fall at the end, spiritually. Castle's coming down, and the king is stripped of its clothes and it's exposed. Wizard of Oz exposed. Magicians exposed. All light does all day long is expose things in the night, exposes the darkness. I've had someone argue over what light does, you know, and a few months ago, I don't know, tried to explain it, you know, whatever with words I'm given, that's it. That's all I can do. Something about light, like not really exposing, you start talking about carnal things like this. Why is someone protecting some kind of natural thing? Could it be that they don't like light? They don't like what it's doing, exposing darkness. So then they're going to have a problem with some kind of physical explanation of, you know, and start attacking that and trying to explain it some other way. It's pretty obvious what light does all day long. It exposes darkness. So whoever's a light in this world will just naturally, spiritually, but you don't even, you know, you just, that's what a light does. It exposes darkness. Darkness that's near the light won't like it. Won't be appreciated. It won't be loved or liked by anyone that's in darkness because it's pushing away. It's exposing. It's go away, go away, go away. You know, the light's doing that. Nothing to do with the intention of the heart, just what light is doing to darkness. It can't mix. So then it cannot be that someone in Messiah mixes with someone not in Messiah. It will not happen. There'll be enmity. That's what there will be. And there'll be separation. And that's what Messiah came to do. Cause division among the light and dark. Not the divisions of this world, causing confusion like that, but separate the goats and the sheep in light and darkness. Came to cause division, bro. The exact opposite of what all of religion is doing, trying to make everything one. It's backwards. Man, this world's so backwards. But growing up in a world where we know nothing else, it's normal. You know, backwards is normal until we start learning, unlearning everything we thought we knew, and it goes away into fire and gets burned, destroyed, and then start learning what's true. And the more you learn, the more you find out this world is scary backwards. Oh, they hate you if you start going backwards. Oh, you don't like muscle cars anymore? You're content with this? You're content with that? You're going backwards? You're slipping away from this world? They find it offensive that you're weak in the flesh now? You're not strong like you used to be? They hate everything that's good. It's sick. Sad. You know, Mr. Buff WWE guy is not strong. He's weak. He's weaker than the guys that are skinnier and weaker physically. It's weaker than them. Because the stronger someone is in this world, the dumber and weaker they are spiritually, the more prideful they are. Look at them. The more insecure they are. They can't be alone for more than 5 minutes without needing worship by someone. Messiah is alone, and people who hate him don't worship him. So even if there's people around him, he's not getting it. See, that's not true for a carnal man. He's getting it. Someone that's great in this world. He's getting it. But you could have people around you and you won't get it. You won't get it. Because how can you get it if they hate you? You don't have to even do anything. That's what's real nice. You could just be as you are, whatever the Creator has you to be right now, this minute. You don't have to try. They won't worship you. They won't. They'll hate you. Or they'll look at you strange, trying to figure out what it is. What is this abomination? Looking at you like you're food, man. Lying down like a lion, crouching and staring, hungry, just like I read. What are you staring at? Don't they ask that all day long? What are you staring at? A monster. What are you staring at? Food? That's what the lion does. It crouches low and it lies in wait. So also the sinner that attacks Messiah's sheep, they see him as nothing but strange food, needs to destroy and kill it. Then when they try to, they can't ultimately do what they want to do. They're running like madmen after the Israelites, and the Father floods them like they're nothing. I don't know. I probably never would have thought I would be laughing about some of these things. I'm sure people that hate the Creator think it very severely evil for laughing at that. Everything they think is perversion. There is no way to do it the right way. You must be laughing because you're doing some kind of evil. It's always got to be evil from them, constantly. They haven't perceived anything else. And religious people will say the same things in their heart. Don't they read the scripture that the Father sneers at them, that he laughs at them? Now answer me this question, you religious people in this world. Does the Father sin when he does that? And off they go. Goodbye. Won't answer the question, will they? Because some of it's pretty funny because of how bad it is and stupid the darkness is. It has nothing to do with what a carnal man always thinks, which is himself, himself, himself. Something to be really appreciated, starting to see these things. And the more he makes you what he needs to make you, you can appreciate more and more. You're not doing it for what they think you are constantly, but that's the tribulation. They always think don't that what they do all day long, they can only put on whatever you're doing. It must be evil what you're doing. Because that's all I am is evil. Therefore, all I know is evil. Therefore, you must be doing evil. It's not worth it being prideful and hating and full of wrath and murder. Man, just do what's right. Ask the Creator to do whatever is right. whatever is the right thing to do that instead of the evil thing we always did. And there's resistance, there's a struggle, there's wrestling. It's not worth it. What good will it? Yeah, we read those scriptures. What are we going to get for keeping your way anyways? All the Israelites are saying. Screw this. Let's go back to Egypt. What are we going to get anyways? What good is it come out of to keep your way anyways? Yes, says the carnal man. Yeah, it requires a tribulation and some serious wrestling, some serious struggle. Start seeing the good that comes out of doing what's right. It doesn't come in one day. But everything a child wants is like instant. Are we there yet? One day they want everything in one day. It doesn't work like that. It's real nice when you can do what's right that you couldn't do before. And it's actually good. You're actually not full of wrath and murder and anger and hatred, but you thought that way wouldn't have produced anything good. And it's actually the only thing that produces good. The other way is the nasty way. A little backwards mind. What you think is like abomination. Oh, I want to seek vengeance. And if you actually do it with no vengeance in the heart and just let it be the proper way of doing whatever the good way is, then you have a reward for that. But if you do it the evil way, like the carnal way, it's no reward. It's just wrath, anger, and distress, and whatever other judgment he comes down on you. You're able to say things, although it's never for this intention. It's just saying it out of knowing it's true, not for the intention or goal to be able to say things that you wouldn't be able to. It's just that it's true. You can say things that you never able to say before because you're not protecting your image, because you don't have any foul intentions in the heart and you know it, but it's going to sound evil and you can say those words and the other people in this world can't because that sounds bad. I'm just saying that it's true. It starts becoming true. You can say weird, strange things like, the weakness of the creator is greater than men, something like that, but like different examples. Something that sounds contradicting or evil or whatever. You find out that that's just for looks. They don't care. That's the abomination. That's the real mind blower. They don't care. They're not doing that because they care. Just to look good. They make it look like they care. It's all backwards. So when someone says something that they can't say because they're just speaking truth and don't have to worry about looking good constantly in their image, that looks bad. That's what's they're in the slavery. They could never say that. So they'll say, "Ooh, evil," and you actually have a good intention and good heart concerning whatever is said, and it's backwards for them, and they sound good, and they have a wicked intention in their heart. Well, that's the truth. It's astonishing that the carnal man doesn't actually have a heart and care. It doesn't care. It's not capable of caring. And all it produces is death. Look at the products. It's all death. It loves murder. It loves killing. It loves robbing and stealing. It gets a thrill out of watching people suffer. No wonder it needs to die, the old man. No wonder the name needs to be changed. That's the old man. Now the new man is a new name because that old man's dead. It's a beast. It doesn't care. It just wants It only does things to receive something, like a dog, you know, like a beast. Nothing wrong with it. It needs to be what it is, the dog or whatever. It is what it is right now. But just comparing its nature, the human nature is like a beast. It's no different. It only does things for itself and makes sure that's always there when it does something. And when it does good, so-called carnal good, looks good to do something good, charity, whatever, it makes sure it gets something out of it. Otherwise, it would never have done it, which means they didn't do it with the intention to freely give or care at all. Zero. If one, then the other here. If it did it for self gain or some selfish intention or whatever, anything else, then it also didn't care at all. Zero. Yes, it's true. Zero. Oh, I know that sounds bad. I know people will scream and defend themselves. I don't care. Zero. What people are exposed of as doing, that's what they hate the most. They start getting frantic to defend it's evil. It doesn't want to get out that it doesn't care. So that's what you'll see people do. Is frantically defend that. Frantically try to make you look evil, sound evil, whatever truth is given, exposing what evil is, to try to cover it up real quick and say that they do care. No, they don't. Nobody did. They even make all kinds of strange things. Products, movies, shows, short mini movies. They constantly show this. When people act like they know what they're talking about and care, but when they hear truth, all of a sudden, all of what they look like they might be knowing and saying, they don't believe or understand or care. Strangest thing. So when someone has a bunch of bumper stickers on their car, I already know what's going on there. Carnal man's not different from one to the other. Carnal man, the same spiritual problems. They're hiding something when they have love all over their car, bumper stickers. They might be the ones that have the least of it. Not that any carnal man has real love from the Father, but it's further down the bottomless pit. It might be, it just might be more than might. The only reason it's doing this is because of how much hate it has, like severe hate, more hate than maybe someone else. And so it puts love on the bumper sticker and then it does evil. And it'll do evil all day long. That's what the crazy thing is. You find someone talking like this, some show, bumper stickers, people talking about it. And then the same people go and do some kind of evil 10 minutes later and murder someone with their heart, trash them. It's not real. Where's the real? Whatever's real is from above. I can't find it anywhere. Oh man, that snake. Slippery and, starts saying words, starts covering itself up real good. Oh, my brother now, he's using a word I've never heard him use before. Blessings, and giving blessings, blessing someone. Doesn't understand what it is at all. Zero. Oh, he's already done evil things. I try to explain these things and it's just out of frustration because I can see that it's being disturbed by the things that are being said and it's trying to run and cover itself as they're being said. It's obvious to me. So what is this thing? It's just like a giant cover. It just feels good, sounds good to the flesh, Feelings are a trick. Spirit divided from the flesh, bone and marrow, flesh and spirit. Feelings are tricksters. Flesh feeling good. feels good to get high. Right, what's that have to do with the spirit? Nothing. It doesn't fix a broken, destroyed spirit of unbelief. So it's just a trick then. Yes, it's a trick. I'm not, I'm not pointing fingers out of that. I'm just saying it's a trick. I've been tricked. I know what it is. Or whatever it is, alcohol, if that's someone's thing. It's just a trick. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to fix anything. Although it so seems tempting like it will, right? If that's the problem. The creator makes it go away. Boom. And then you wait for him to make something else go away. Boom. And that's it. It's not their fault. It's not anyone's fault in that kind of way where you point finger and condemn someone because they believe in the trick too. They want it to work. They don't know anything else. Nobody knows anything else. So the people that sort of don't fall for that trick, specifically, maybe, I don't know whether they're like a businessman or just the average everyday worker or whatever. It doesn't matter. Some people don't really ever fall into that. That exists. They don't really get into it. Maybe they did some things, whatever, but they never really got down deep with it. And they think they're better than someone else because of it. It's a lie. They could have easily been that person, and they still might be. You never know. What the creator will do for judgment. Whatever someone starts condemning someone for, maybe that he's going to put it on them. You never know. Some kind of literal weakness like that. Whatever someone condemn people all their life and says, "Oh, I can't believe how," and then you start seeing him, start messing around with this a little here, a little there, and that gets deeper and deeper. What happened? What happened, man? Thought you were stronger and better than everyone. Of course, the problem is way deeper than physical addiction, but that is still it's still no good. Something to be overcome. Well, maybe someone receives that so that they have more to overcome, or can appreciate it more, or learn something from it, and they can understand it better then when they overcome it, and they won't be condemning people because they would condemn themselves. Because the carnal man doesn't seem to be afraid of condemning thyself. He's quick to judge, and it just points a finger at itself. Hold back that judgment for a second and make sure you're clean. There's not a log in the eye. It's the spirit of like a condemning spirit, literally believing in the heart it's better and pointing the finger. That's the thing right there. That's the log. That's the hypocrisy in the eye. This world's so confused. Don't judge me. Well, yeah, that's what people do all day long. That's what they do. They know that's what they do. That's what they do. Everyone around them does that, and it's in everyone's heart already. So what will they do if they see something right? They'll just condemn it as evil. Just throw it in with the evil. They'll just assume and must believe it's the exact same thing. It's pointing the finger with condemnation, which is someone that believes that the Father will be merciless forever for all that didn't rise up to be better than everyone else. That's what that is with hell. Someone that believes that doctrine also has in their heart currently, right this second, that they're better than everyone else and they're prideful gods above everyone. Pretty scary. That's why it's a problem. Because that's what it requires to believe that doctrine in the heart. Someone's believing that or claiming that, that's what they still are, full blown. But they got a group that looks better, looks cleaner, uses more scripture or something here that others don't. But let's not forget, they also forget many scriptures too. Seems like they just forget them, never talk about them. Because everyone that's in a lie has to skip all kinds of scripture. They don't want to touch it because that's what it requires when it's a lie. It doesn't literally break his word, but it's broken like that. It's going to be exposed. Because wherever there's an actual lie, there's scriptures they're not believing. That's a fact. Like simple scriptures that they cannot believe. So they'll try to stay away from them. They just already know how to do that. And that's what he's shown me. For every lie, there's scriptures that someone cannot believe. So most likely they'll just stay away from them. And if they're confronted, have some kind of lie ready, but they would rather not. They would rather hope the first thing happens and just not talk about it at all. I can't say, but I can only speak from being brought up in the denomination I was brought up in for years and looking around elsewhere too, like what people are saying and the ministers and everything. I think most of them they don't really like messing with speaking about the Pharisees. I've seen the spirit. I've said the Pharisee once in front of some people and around like some time back. Christians, some denomination, I don't know what it is. I just said the word like something Pharisee, and I looked and they froze. Like, why did that happen right there? Because that's who they are. That's why. And the devil somewhere knows it. Because the spirit speaks out of truth, knowing, and it exposes what someone is. I don't know how else to describe it. It's why when a false prophet says something, it's out of no set apart spirit. It's out of no Father not in them. It's out of a lie. Therefore, the people receive it because they're a lie still. And then they cheer, just like I read in scripture, and clap their hands for the false prophet. But it has to be real. Then Messiah has the Father, and he's like speaking with the Father does this thing. The Spirit like speaks through power, and it exposes when the words are said, and it hits people. And it's like through that way he like makes it be known. It just is. But see, a false prophet sitting at the table could have said something about Pharisees, and I know for a fact it wouldn't bother them. What on earth is the difference there? Not the word so much. So often it's not even that much difference. They say some right words. That's what he's shown me. It's out of like some kind of power with truth. The Spirit is like through his word, his spirit, his word is spirit, but it's, his actual power, spirit through his word, it's all one. And it just, boom, it hits them and exposes because the spirit is revealing the other, that it's darkness. It's just already doing that. But the false prophet is in darkness, therefore it doesn't bother them when they say these words. If they were to say something about Pharisees, it wouldn't have bothered them. But you say Pharisee and instantly, eyes a little bit wide open, frozen, uncomfortable. The spirit of what was detected? The spirit of like instant uncomfort. It was detected. It was easy to see. Why? Just for saying a few words, Pharisee, something, the Pharisees. That's it. And then, many things like that I've seen happen. So just different words, different scripture, but like the same result, same thing happening. Show me this thing. There's no power in the false prophet. He's not blessed by the Creator. He's in darkness, speaks in darkness, does his works in darkness. And so the people listening in darkness receive him, and then it doesn't bother him because there is no light in him to expose the people listening to him. Makes sense. Everything that's true makes sense. Everything he's shown me that's true makes sense and is logical and orderly also. Well, just like the creation itself is logically and orderly, and whatever is the building blocks behind it all makes sense. There's order to it. And there's laws for the creation, and there's spiritual laws for his spiritual creation, his people, which creates order and not chaos. But this world says out of chaos, order. Yeah, it's in confusion. I mean, that's what the end result, I suppose you could say that's what it will be, but it's not. Chaos never brings order itself. So this thing is a lying deception out of chaos order. It's dividing, it's only to divide and control and kill, steal, and destroy. What they say isn't coming. It's not coming from them. So what's going into destruction, man? People don't believe it. It's going to burn up. People don't believe it. Fire's already starting. Just going to increase. It doesn't matter that it increases. People still won't believe it. Something could sound and the whole world hears this crazy trumpet sound or something. I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying. And the next day, it never happened. Yes, it would be just like that. Yes, it would. Because that's all that's ever been happening. That's what happens when truth is given to someone that ends up being like a seed falling on the wayside and just comes, plucks, it's gone. Next day, it's like it never happened. Yeah. No miracle would make someone believe all by itself. Just because it happened, that's not what makes someone believe. Makes me wonder if there will be actual trumpet sounds. I don't know. I understand symbolic. But if they were to happen, it would be as if it never happened. That's all I'm saying. If it happened, this world is such in a daze of delusion. It would be as if it never happened. Yes, it would. That's exactly how someone should only expect it to be. Is anything but what's real. It's crazy. It's insane. And I don't know what, I'm still not 100% sure on something that I guess the last few years, I don't know, that some few years there, I don't know, is it a giant hoax on a grand scale that big? Or there's noises all around the world that were heard the last few years, and you could find some videos, and there's definitely videos that are, fraudulent. Definitely. Many, probably. But are they there to cover up something that might be true? All I'm saying is just how bad this world's blind. They won't believe. Just be making fun and like acting like a child and on to business the next day. That's it. It could blast right now, right this second. It wouldn't matter tomorrow. Yes, people could talk about it, whatever. The world's going to try to hush it up if something like that happened. That's all. That's what it does with his truth all day long in the heart. It's what the false prophets do all day long. They're desperately wicked to cover up anything that's good and true. They do this already. So then if this thing happened like that, literally, that's what would happen. First of all, They own the media. They control it. The devil, the people can't control the media. I can't do anything about it. They'll make it minimal, first of all, and won't purposely spread it around. But if, they have to give a little bit because it's too obvious, too many people heard something, whatever, they'll just casually say something about it, talk about what caused it, anything but truth. That's how the enemy works. We'll just anything but the truth, and then it's gone. Boom, it's over. That's it. That's how it works. It's like on a grand scale, the seed came and the devil took it away. Boom, foul spirit bird took it away. Why wouldn't it be? At least the last one. I don't know, the last one. Just some astonishing sound. Scare everyone, make them frightened. It's not about that though, I'm just saying. Just something interesting that, I don't know. It's a weird thing that happened. Why would someone create a grand delusion and spread it out over like many different videos, many different locations? I don't know. All of it 100% fake? It's usually not how it works. 100% fake. Although if there was something real to it, whatever I see is how it would have worked. There would be many deceivers thrown in there, many fakes, many fraudulent things, and it would be covered up. That's exactly how it would work. I guess I got off a little bit on some trumpet noise, but it's a strange one. Or if it is 100% fake, just to cause more confusion. That much it would do if it's all fake, fraudulent. It would just cause more division and confusion. Sort of soften the blow, I guess, if it really happened, maybe, or happens. Then this thing already happened, and everyone already has their thoughts and beliefs on it. Yeah, deception is nasty. There's like literally no bottom to it. It's too deep. You can't find the bottom. It's like 1,000 covers covering 10,000 more covers. That's how lies work. It's nice not to be in that. Although we'll make our mistakes, but it's nice to start coming out of that. You can just speak truth and have a clear conscience at all times. And the wicked don't have a conscience. It's sincere with a hot iron on maximum heat. Shrinking the shirt, it's so hot, it's melting it. They say serial killers, they don't have like a conscience, and it's scary the way they talk. As if it's like no big deal. It's just a beast killing another person, no big deal. Yeah, but spiritually, how many people have a conscience with their heart? How many people did they murder? How much evil does someone do to someone else like that with no conscience at all? Isn't that what that scripture is saying? Or is it only speaking of literal serial killers with no conscience? Always the spiritual thing is the first heavenly thing, because the heavens are above the earth. It's always first, and it comes down. And the earth is never above or first. It's always the spiritual stance, understanding, always present, always happening, always important, always the bigger thing is the important thing, because that's what happens first. Murder in the heart happens before murder. And it's more than possible. It's happening a lot. That there's a lot of murder. Even though someone's not murdered physically, there's still a lot of murder. Revelation speaks of it. The world always was. There's blood everywhere. It's a war, it's a spiritual battle, war, blood. We get the picture, though, from the scripture, from the wars, from the enemies of his people. Destruction of the flesh. And they won't teach this in the church world. That through Messiah, through his people, he'll strike dead those that try to kill and attack them. He'll plague them. Yes, he will. And that's evil. That's evil. How dare you say that? What do they think those scriptures are saying? Like they're in vain? He'll plague them. They can plague them as often as they want. They're not seeing the spiritual reality and spiritual words here. They're seeing something carnally, and they just want to point it at you, say you do evil. Anybody that tries to attack his people get plagued and flooded out of the way. It's a pretty bad thing to try to attack his people. The devil sends a flood, but the earth swallows the flood and helps it out, helps the woman out, Israel, all those people. Swallows up the flood. It doesn't do what it's supposed to, which is destroy the woman utterly. Well, the devil's always trying to destroy, kill Messiah when he's 2 or under, spiritually always attacking, trying to kill him constantly. Only when the Father allows something, then it happens. Until then, his protection is actual, protection. But when the time was right, like we read, the Messiah dies. They kill him because he didn't protect them right there. For all the other reasons and purpose of why he died and was resurrected. But until then, he was protected. They can't do anything until the Father allows something. It's abomination to carnal man. Just pull the trigger, kill someone. Yeah, that's for the wicked to do that. They don't believe in the Father. They go and do evil, thinking they're God, doing whatever they want. That's the delusion for his people. So no one can just do whatever they want. It's got to be from above. No one can just shoot you in the head and it's over. Didn't expect that. And the Father goes, what happened? I didn't expect that. Now I can't do what I want with him. It's an abomination, man. It's abomination because it's like showing and teaching that he's powerless when the opposite is true. It doesn't mean he promises a nice, sweet end, though, for everyone. But until that point, though, he protects his people. Oh, it's bad, man. Devil wants you in prison, wants you dead. Ruthless, vicious, monster. Scattering and dividing, conquering to conquer. Conquer and divide and control everyone. In this world, in the spirit, I'm seeing something very sick. Oh, it's going to get way worse. This is sick. And the people are ready for it. They don't care. They're blind. They'll do whatever. Yeah, that crash everyone's been, maybe heard of for a long time now. It will come. And then more control will come. They want to control you more and more. More cameras everywhere. Why? Constantly watching, man. Watching in an evil way. Spying. Spying out their liberty. Watching people. Because it's afraid of being stolen from, because all it ever does is steal. So now it has to watch others. And they do this thing where you just, stage one is like putting it in the mind of people that it's a good idea and it's good technology, and then they do it willingly, and that's the easiest way to get the masses to do something, so that everyone has cameras at their house, in their house, everywhere. Eventually they'll just be forced to at some point, if it goes that far, if it's allowed to go that far. They're making up the mind for everyone themselves. It's a lot easier, it's a more sophisticated way of controlling people. You phase out something and not make it possible, and bring in something that's shiny and new and everybody wants it, and that's how you control them. And then everybody does it. What I was wondering today is if money itself will be allowed to be, you know, canceled out, like completely, like digital only. Is that going to be allowed, or will there always be some kind of, like that will still exist right till the end? I'm not sure. It's already bad as it is, but like it's even worse to make it go away completely and make it digital, because all they have to do is click a button and your life is over. Well, I mean, not speaking like spiritually, like the Father won't get us, whatever, but that's a severe control. Like, someone could have whatever they got for digital money, just boom, locked out, it's over. So I wonder if there'll always be I wonder if cash will be around until the end. Sure. It's definitely going in the direction of going away. Oh, it's definitely going there. I'm just wondering if it's going to be allowed to go away completely for a while. Is that some severe control they have over everyone then? That would shut down all kinds of things. That would force people into their beast system even more, to acknowledge its ways and beliefs and everything, or else canceled, rejected, and money's no good. All they have to do is just make it official. It doesn't, like, the money doesn't even have to disappear. It could be everywhere. You got, oh, here's $100. Yeah, so what? We don't accept it because we just do whatever the devil tells us to. Sorry, you have to like wear a mask to order, because we just do whatever the devil tells us to. We don't care. How come they just keep doing that?